This song isn't funny at all, but it helps me sleep at night. Art is dead, art is dead, art is dead, art is dead. Entertainers like to seem complicated, but we're not complicated. I can explain it pretty easily. Have you ever been to a birthday party for children, and one of the children won't stop screaming because he's just a little attention attractor? When he grows up to be a comic or actor, he'll be rewarded for never maturing, for never understanding or learning that every day can't be about him. There's other people, you selfish asshole. I must be psychotic, I must be demented to think that I'm worthy of all this attention, of all of this money you worked really hard for. I slept in late while you worked at the drugstore. My drug's attention, I am an addict, but I get paid to indulge in my habit. It's all an illusion. I'm wearing makeup, I'm wearing makeup, 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 makeup. Art is dead, so people think you're funny. How do we get those people's money? I said our art is dead. We're rolling in dough while Carlin rolls in his grave, his grave, his grave. I said the show has got a budget, the show has got a budget, and all the poor people way more deserving of the money won't budget, cause I wanted my name in lights when I could have fed a family of four for 40 fucking fortnights. 40 fucking fortnights. I am an artist, please God forgive me. I am an artist, please don't revere me. I am an artist, please don't respect me. I am an artist, feel free to correct me. A self-centered artist, self-obsessed artist. I am an artist, I am an artist, but I'm just a kid, I'm just a kid, I'm just a kid, and maybe I'll grow out of it.
To start off this video, for those of you who do not know the context of the situation, Skeletal Shenanigans by Yo Reed is now the most popular medium demon in the game, and content creator Wabu decided that they were going to make an extension, an 8-minute long extension of the level. There's a lot of things that we found out before we even saw the level in full, but the main thing of note is that the level had a budget of $100,000. This budget primarily came from the fact that the decorators were being paid a proper job level wage, meaning they were being paid hourly for their work. Combine that with the fact that he paid an artist to extend the song, which, by the way, from my research, it's not even the creators of the original song. It's some guy that makes, like, J-pop stuff, which I couldn't even find any information on this song artist, whatever. But he paid someone to make an extended version of the song, because the song's not even 8 minutes long, and then combine that with the fact that they are distributing and selling plushies, and they are planning on doing global localized advertising in places like Japan, which... is all that even really fucking necessary? Like, let's just stop for a moment and talk about this. Like, any passionate artist would assume that their art can stand on two legs and would just put their art out there, maybe with a bit of advertising, and just assume that it's good and people will gravitate to it, because passionate artists tend to believe in the art that they create. If you do not believe in the art you create, and you're just a soulless capitalist trying to profit off of the hard work and community other people tend to build up, then you end up doing weird capitalist methods of milking the fuck out of whatever piece of art you are creating. If I can compare it to anything, what Wabu's doing with this level reminds me a lot of modern Pixar and how they handle their movies, where the movies are no longer about the movies, it's about the fucking toy sales. And would you look at that, Skeletal Shenanigans has plushies. It really is very similar to Pixar movies in a lot of ways. You spend an obscene amount of money to make a piece of art that nobody asked for, and then merchandise the hell out of it to hopefully get some form of profit back. This is an obscene amount of money to spend on a Geometry-Dash level, and it is nothing more than a publicity stunt. This is just to get attention. Only problem is, it's also a very risky move, because if you can't make the money back, you wasted $100,000 fucking dollars. Because of that, you would expect this to be one of the most grandiose and best projects the GD community has ever seen. For this level to be profitable, it would have to be the best level in the entirety of the game. And I'm sorry to say, but Wabu dropped the fucking ball. This might actually be one of the worst extensions I've ever seen, one of the worst attempts at anything really in this community I've ever seen. This level is a flaming pile of garbage. It has issues that seem small but accumulate to make this level a clusterfuck of problems. Some of those problems could be forgiven if this was a genuine art project made out of passion by a couple smaller content creators. However, because this is basically the equivalent of a capitalist business venture, they are way less forgivable. What's crazy is that the quality of the decoration isn't even the problem here, it's just how badly managed this project is. The level's bad because of Wabu. All of the decorators did a fantastic job here, they just had a shit hand that they were dealt. And it's because of that I want to clarify right off the bat that in terms of raw skill, the decorators did a really good job on this level, and while I will be shitting on the decoration, it's not because of the quality of it. The decoration is purely made by passionate people who were just, you know, trying to make that bag and took the chance that they could. However, as you've probably heard a million times by now, a mega collab will not be good no matter how skilled your decorators are if it has bad direction and it is badly handled. If the host of the collab does not handle the collab well, the collab will turn out like garbage, and that's exactly what happened here. But let's just break this down step by step, because I'm clearly getting ahead of myself. Let's break this level down bit by bit and explain exactly what's wrong with it. So on the topic of this level, in several comments and in different Blue Sky posts that I've made, I have actually echoed the opinion that the idea of extending Skeletal Shenanigans is not inherently bad. At its core, Skeletal Shenanigans theming is basically you breaking into a castle with some spooky skeletons and stealing this gem, and I feel like if you took the approach of making the level a travel level and letting you explore the set pieces a bit more, it could actually be pretty good. If the approach was basically just to give us an idea of what the world is like and build off of it and build a sort of atmosphere, this could have been done really well. I don't know if 8 minutes is feasible, but I definitely think you could have made a good extension out of the level. If this level went with the method that a lot of Rob Top full levels do and just sort of intersperse bits of the original level into unique gameplay, this could have actually been pretty cool. So what does Skeletal Extremigans do? Well, it makes you play the original Skeletal Shenanigans, unmodified, unchanged in any way, shape, or form, and then just keeps going after that. Right off the bat, this is immediately a failure on Wabu's part, because this just shows that all he wanted to do was take Skeletal Shenanigans and make it longer. He had no care for the actual world he's building, the set pieces, he had no care for really any of it. He just wanted Skeletal Shenanigans but more, because he wanted views. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking hearing that. That seems a bit harsh. How do I know that it's just for views? How do I know that this was just an arbitrary making the level longer? Maybe all of the content added after Skeletal Shenanigans is legitimately good and had a lot of effort put into it. Well, rules of death of the author, let's analyze this level on its own merit. A lot of my complaints in this review are gonna boil down to the fact that this level is worse than Skeletal Shenanigans, and trust me, we will get there. However, I need to dedicate an entire segment of this review talking about just how fucking derivative the extension is. A majority of this level's gameplay, decoration, aesthetics, even progression can just be directly compared to the original level it is taking from. If I put shots side by side of Skeletal Extremigans and Skeletal Shenanigans, you can just see things the level just directly ripped off. But what's funny is that anytime you see a section in Skeletal Extremigans that is comparable to a part in Skeletal Shenanigans, the one in Skeletal Extremigans universally always looks worse. But we'll get back to that, because again, I will get to the decoration. For now, what I want to focus on is the fact that because every single thing in the extension can just be directly compared to the original level, this ends up feeling like the original level over and over and over and over again. It doesn't feel like you're seeing more of Skeletal Shenanigans, it feels like you're seeing Skeletal Shenanigans again. It's like the John Mulaney skit where he went and played What's New Pussycat on the jukebox over and over and over to drive people in the restaurant insane, except instead of it being the song What's New Pussycat, it's the level Skeletal Shenanigans. That's what this shit feels like. There is one singular part that is exempt from this, and that's the break part in the 40s, which is a part that I actually really like. I want to call attention to this because it shows what this level could have been. You have this serene moment where the level calms down, the music quiets down, and you get this atmospheric moment where you arrive on a raft out of the water and you cross this bridge slowly, and it's clear something's wrong, but it's just calm, it's peaceful, and this is a legitimately pretty moment and one of the only good parts to come out of the level. But the fact it's here doesn't really make me happy, it makes me more angry than anything because it shows what the level could have been. If we got more moments like this interspersed with parts from Skeletal Shenanigans, again, going back to the travel level idea, this could have been really cool and really atmospheric. But instead, we get this. Why the fuck are we on the moon? And I don't just mean that because it doesn't make sense in the level, although it doesn't. Didn't the moon get fucking eaten? How are we here? Hey everyone, Not the Knee Scared Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so jokes aside, I really do want to talk about the song for a second because it's really bad. The extension is basically the original song, but with some extra instruments added onto it, and it's very jarring. They introduces a bunch of big band elements like dramatic vocals and violin, and most perplexingly, the same exact violin sound that you would have heard in Flame Wall by Camellia. Like, when I was first watching the level, I honestly thought that the song was just gonna suddenly become Flame Wall, because it just, why? But what's odd is, yeah, the song is basically using these big band epic version instruments that really do not fit with the aesthetic of the level, but those instruments are still over the original song's backbeat, which is basically looping the entire fucking time. So what you basically get is a shitty imitation of a Hans Zimmer score playing over like a chugging synth backbeat, and it's very, very bizarre. Even though I am not accusing it of being AI, and I'm more just likening it to it in quality, I want to be very clear, I am not saying this was made with AI. But in terms of quality, this reminds me of those YouTube videos where someone will attempt to extend the drop of a dubstep song using AI. It's just odd how the song just slowly loses the plot the farther in you get. And now that I say that out loud, so too does the progression of the level, so I guess in that way, they're similar. Both in terms of structuring and the song, it just feels like the longer it goes on, the less it feels like Skeletal Shenanigans. Until the end of it, it basically just sounds like a fucking Dark Souls boss theme playing over Skeletal Shenanigans backbeat synth, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Now, as I said earlier, the decorators are clearly talented, and it shows when you look at this level, ignoring the context of it. The decoration is high quality, it's well made, and you can definitely tell that the decorators put effort into this. However, due to a mixture of bad hosting combined with the fact that these are just different decorators than the people who worked on Skeletal Shenanigans, the level's quality is incredibly mixed, and the decoration ends up looking really, really bad in the context of a Skeletal Shenanigans extension. As an example, during the extension, we get more Skeletal Shenanigans boss fights, and while they're completely derivative of the original boss fight, I already kind of mentioned how that was the case before, so I'm not going to focus on that. What I'm instead going to focus on is the fact that the animation quality of these two bosses is so much worse than the one in the Skeletal Shenanigans part. Not only is the frame rate significantly lower and choppier, but on top of that, it feels like the character will straight up teleport from one position to another. It's like there's missing frames in the animation, so it'll just snap into place. It looks really awful. The movements are way less smooth, and there's a sort of uncanny valley feeling to it that makes it look really, really out of place. There's visual bugs everywhere. Some things will just pop into existence. On the part where you get shot out of a cannon for a second time and you're shot into the moon, which, again, I already mentioned mention how derivative it is, but that's not what we're focusing on. In the second cannon shot, if you look closely, you can just see the bubble that surrounds the player just fly up into place. At 82%, one of the skeletons is shrinking and growing in size for no fucking reason. And why the fuck do a bunch of skeletons just flip as if it's a Paper Mario character? It looks so fucking bad. Now, am I nitpicking? Yes, obviously, but it's kind of fair to when you consider again that this level had a budget of $100,000 fucking dollars. You'd think issues like this would be ironed out. I compared this level to modern Pixar films earlier, but in reality, it more closely resembles Lion King 2019 in the sense that there's animation errors fucking everywhere. But the worst looking part is the part with the blue skeleton, or as I'm gonna call him, Mr. Blue Balls. There are parts where Mr. Blue Balls over here just fucking stops moving and drags like locked to player X. It is so fucking bad. The part where his head sort of dips down and there's a bunch of skeletons standing on top of him, he just stops being alive. His sentience is fucking gone. These issues could, in theory, be excused if this level was more original, but with how derivative it is, all you really have to latch onto is how good it looks. But really, beyond the surface level of creators have talent, it just feels misguided. It is yet another example of a badly hosted mega collab, and for a $100,000 Geometry Dash level to be just another badly hosted mega collab, that is infuriating.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
This is one of the very few things I've ever seen where death of the author as a concept does not work. I actually have to acknowledge the creator of the level, or more accurately, the host, and I have to acknowledge the circumstances around the level's creation. I cannot just look at the level as an individual piece of art. Maybe if the level was good and actually stood up on its own, then I could, but instead I have a soulless husk where all it does is just generate Wabu money. On that note, though, I would like to answer a genuine question a lot of people have, and that's what makes this different from stuff like Mindcap creating a $10,000 bounty to get Heliopolis verified? Well, to put it quite simply, it's capitalism. It is stepping on other people and their community to grow your own business. That is what makes this different. The big thing that sucks about capitalism is that you're effectively just stepping on the little guy and demolishing any sort of chance that they could create anything of their own and distribute it, and this effectively kills art. To put this more simply, by being capitalistic like this and making something purely for profit, you are in turn making something with the purpose of taking from the community rather than giving. Wabu's little publicity stunt here is doing nothing but taking from the GD community. It's taking our money, it's taking our time, and it's taking our art. This does nothing but harm the community. The reason why this feels so wrong, but things like the $10,000 Heliopolis bounty don't, is because that bounty is meant to give to the community. By putting that bounty up, Heliopolis will eventually get verified and it'll be a level for the community. Heliopolis does not exist to serve Mindcap, it exists to give us something. Skeletal Extremigans is basically just a shitty fucking advertisement for Wabu's shitty fucking Wabubu NFT looking fucking bastards. This is why, even though it's uncommon, a lot of people have had the opinion that they could forgive the insane fucking price tag this level has if the level was just simply good and they liked it, or at least a decent amount of people liked it, because then at least Wabu would be paying to make something that people liked. But you can't do that if you are thinking about yourself. And the problem with this level's price tag of $100,000 fucking dollars is that you gotta make your money back somehow, which means no matter what, this level is going to always exist to make Wabu money. And that's not even mentioning the fact that these stupid-ass Wabubus were meant to be fucking gambled for. Wabu is attempting to sell gambling to children. Or I guess not anymore, because now I guess you can buy them directly, but for an inflated price. I don't fucking know what he's doing anymore. Funny thing too, I was planning on actually buying one of these plushies for this video, because I was gonna talk about whether or not the plushie was well made. I was basically gonna review the plushie, and it was gonna be a whole bit, but I can't, because the website doesn't fucking work. When I click the pre-order button, the whole website crashes. Alright, if I'm gonna get any of these, I'm gonna get the... I think this is the coolest one, even though it just looks like two fucking fire emojis. Like, oh, okay, it's cool, it's fire, I'll get this one. Let's do the thing here, I guess. Go. Pre-order. Okay. No fucking way, dude. No fucking way. Stop. It crashed. What the fuck, dude? And the fucking smiley is stuck to my mouse. And I can't even buy one. Like, if I wanted to. I can't even do it for the bit. It doesn't work. The site just doesn't work. This project is so fucking infuriating to me. Like, the video dropped the other day while I was at work, and I watched it on my lunch break, and it ruined my entire goddamn day. My disappointment was immeasurable, and my whole fucking day was ruined. But yeah, this level just makes me angry. I wanted to make a video on this, and quite frankly, I had more stuff to say, but I think I've made my point. I am going to say this level is my very first 0 out of 10. I think it's my first 0 out of 10. Whatever. If it's not, cool, but this level is a flat fucking 0 out of 10. It does not deserve any recognition. This level does not deserve any of your time, and Rob Top, if you have any goddamn integrity, you will not rate this piece of fucking garbage.